Fortunately, we saw the rarity where the suspect actually got away. There you see him cutting somebody off. Now we're on 11th Street, headed eastbound. This vehicle looks like a big SUV. Third pursuit of the afternoon I've covered, guys. This is the second one with an SUV. Looks like another big gas guzzler. So not the kind of very capable car like we saw in the last pursuit. But now it's going to be a large SUV. Yeah, right. Definitely not a Jaguar. Eastbound on 11th Street, getting kind of into the heart of the industrial area in downtown LA.
And Desmond, is this a one-way street there, 11th in downtown LA? Looks like it might be.
Yes, it looks like this is actually, no, you know what, well, maybe it might have been back on that section, but now you see the double yellow blasting right through that stop sign there. Again, on 11th Street in San Pedro, so actually pretty close to the Arts District, and now turning southbound on San Pedro back towards the 10 freeway. So again, just I can't emphasize how difficult this evening has been with these air restrictions and the Dodger TFR, which has been so, TFR is temporary flight restriction, but just so frustrating for us having to navigate in a specific way. We're not as free to move around. And if he continues south of the 10 freeway, things could get complicated for us because then we're going into LAX's airspace, and it's kind of a whole separate operation for us to get into that. So we'll see what happens here. But we're southbound on San Pedro, coming right back up to the 10 freeway, and we'll see what the suspect's next move is.
All right, well, Juan is, no, I just turned green, Juan. Juan has been counting at least 3 red lights that this guy went through.
Yeah.
You know, I'm interested, Desmond, did he pull a gun on someone? Or, you know, when you say he was an armed suspect, I'm just wondering, did he pull a gun on another person or police, or were they just notified that this guy had a gun? And I'm assuming it's a guy.
Well, yeah, Pat, we did just get word that this is now an assault with a deadly weapon suspect. So this person, they're thinking armed and dangerous, and used that weapon, whatever it is, to assault someone else. And I believe they did. I believe they did say that it was a gun. It was an armed man, is what we heard. The first call go out. We're eastbound on Washington Boulevard, so near, still in the downtown LA area, going away from all of those protesters that we were showing you earlier. Washington and Central. This is kind of the area where we first picked it up. This is LA County Sheriff's deputies, the East Los Angeles station, that are involved in this. That spotlight overhead, their helicopter, which has been just about as busy as us this evening. They were so busy, in fact, that they had to land earlier and disengage from that insane situation we saw with the Jaguar. But their fuel, they're back overhead, and hopefully this one will not get away from either us or the authorities.
Yeah, good news is here, Desmond, you're saying that this pursuit is getting farther away from downtown LA. Of course, we saw that big protest earlier. You showed us pictures of that. Almost 1,000 people protesting out there tonight. And then again, downtown LA has a lot of one-way streets. So if this guy makes a really quick turn onto a one-way street the wrong way, that could cause a lot of trouble. And we've seen him blow through several red lights. And here we go, reaching another intersection. And there goes another red light as well. So he's been very lucky, and so is the motoring public, that they haven't come any closer to this, because not at very high speeds, Pat, but pretty dangerous, right?
And also still running into some traffic. Just when you think, well, it's pretty empty, then all of a sudden when we get to an intersection, we see there are quite a few vehicles out there. This is a black Chevy Suburban, guys. So this is a heavy vehicle for sure. And we understand, what we've heard so far is that there is a driver that they're looking, that they want to stop, a suspect armed with a gun. Don't know if there are any other people in this Suburban.
25, okay.
So we haven't heard anything like that. So an armed suspect. And Desmond, as you said, this is the third one that you've been involved with today. This is, the speeds again are not as fast as the one the last hour, but at the same time, this driver refuses to stop. And the fact that he is armed, that presents an even more dangerous situation anyway for law enforcement.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we're talking about if they even wanted to do a pit maneuver against a really large SUV by one of these little sedans, you know, that may not turn out quite so well with their lower center of gravity. So that's a consideration, but I believe I did hear them saying that using a pit maneuver was not what they were intending to do. So they may just go with this one for the distance. This is an incredibly inefficient vehicle as far as gas goes. Look at that, right through another red light.
Yeah.
At least we're not seeing the 80, 90 mile an hour speeds. We're back at about 30 or 40 miles an hour. And yeah, we just heard that pit maneuver was denied. Apparently, it may have been requested, but the chief or the commander on this said no go because this person is armed and dangerous. So it's hard to say how this one is going to turn out. Maybe if they can get ahead and lay some spike strips, or if they just want to go the distance and hope that this person didn't have a full tank of gas, and maybe he's down at a quarter of a tank and he'll run out of gas. And if they can get enough personnel in place, I mean, you know, they will bring as many resources as they need to bring someone into custody. We've seen many times that someone is armed. They may bring in Bearcats if they have to. It's all just kind of, you know, really obviously have no idea how this is going to play out just yet. A little too early for that. But we are eastbound on Washington, as we believe we're coming pretty close to the Vernon area now, Pat.
And you know what? Sometimes we have seen where they just stop at some point, knowing they have nowhere else to go, knowing why they're being chased in the first place, and might as well, right? So let's hope that this ends where no one is hurt, and that it does end. I guess peacefully would be the right word to interject here.
Yeah, it looks like Patney's in some sort of like warehouse district not far from downtown LA. So you see the streets are a little wider, a lot of open spaces on both sides of the road there. There's some trucks there. So indeed, container yard. So he is getting a little farther away from the downtown LA area. I was looking at our notes here from the assignment desk. Indeed, the pit maneuver apparently was requested and denied because it is assumed, or they're assuming, of course, that the driver is armed with the handgun. And somewhere around apparently 12th and Central, he was witnessed throwing something out from the car. We don't know exactly what that is, but that's in there as well. The driver of this car here, not going too fast, as you see there, 54 miles an hour, with police just behind him here, and of course airships up above. So as we always say, it always ends with the driver in custody of these pursuits here. Luckily, since he is pulling Pat farther and farther away from downtown LA, we're seeing less traffic. We're seeing fewer intersections that he's crisscrossing. So that's definitely a little bit of good news tonight.
That is, for sure.
Yeah.
And so far, Desmond, this is LAPD, or is it the sheriff's?
This is the LA County Sheriff's deputies. I believe it is the East Los Angeles division that is pursuing right now, as we're eastbound on Washington, pretty close to the city of Vernon, kind of on the border of Vernon and Commerce. The silver lining here is that these are, you know, almost exclusively, actually that's Vernon's motto, is exclusively industrial. There's only about 100 people that live in the city of Vernon, so it's as close to a guarantee as you're going to get that there's not going to be pedestrians or cyclists out in this area riding at this evening, where, you know, the pursuit that we saw last hour, I just have to keep referencing that because it was a polar opposite of this one, where we saw so many close calls and so much danger regarding the public. At least with this one, we're in a much less congested area, much lower speeds. However, the flip side, of course, we did hear that this person is armed and dangerous. I was just hearing some chatter from LA County sheriffs talking about a strategy that you're going to employ. I don't want to tip their hand, but we may see something coming up. Hopefully, they're going to be able to do something here to stop this vehicle. And and right as I said it, there was the spike strip, but I couldn't see
if it was successful.
I'm listening in right now.
Oh, you know what, Des? Juan, well, it makes sense, especially since they were in the city of Vernon. They know it's an industrial area and probably had different places to pinpoint where they can actually execute a spike strip or something like that to help in slowing this vehicle down anyway. So Desmond, I think, is checking to see exactly what happened there.
And Pat, since it's such a heavy car, we're talking about a Suburban, even if this car would have hit those spike strips, we may not have seen, because of the weight of this car, any sort of obvious movement or swishing around, right?
And it could take a while anyway. They could still drive on those tires.
Yeah, Pat, unfortunately, I did just hear that was a negative, that that the spike strips missed. So, you know, it was they were set up so perfectly there, but you just have to have perfect timing. I mean, really, with anything that the authorities do, you know, if it's a pit maneuver, if it's spike strips, whatever they do, the execution has to be almost 100% for it to work perfectly, and unfortunately that one just wasn't quite there. Northbound on Atlantic now coming into the East Los Angeles area, and again, this is the East Los Angeles division of the LA County Sheriff's Deputies, so this is kind of where this pursuit began. And as we come up, we're actually still technically in Commerce, but we'll be in East Los Angeles soon. There you saw that kind of weird intersection here with Atlantic, Eastern, and Telegraph, and it looks like he's going to be continuing on Atlantic, which will lead him into East Los Angeles, actually making a turn now. They're saying this is Goodrich Boulevard. Goodrich Boulevard, speed's just about 45, between 45 and 60 miles an hour currently.
And they are really, they're staying right behind this car. They're, they haven't wavered in terms of pulling back, and really, I guess, no need to, because this driver has not really been driving erratically here or at really high amounts of speed. So they're certainly keeping up with this driver, but he has not made an effort to stop that we can see. Yep, he ran it. Was that another, is that a law enforcement vehicle? That was in the intersection?
Yeah, that was,
I thought so.
Yeah, that was a red light that he just went through. You see how many units now are in pursuit, so I think they're already kind of gearing up if this one goes the distance, or regardless of if this person does eventually just stop, and want to surrender. They want to make sure that they have as many deputies as possible there to have the upper hand on this one. Looks like we're making another turn from Goodrich now onto Whittier Boulevard. So getting really, really close to East Los Angeles and now into a parking garage. We'll see what happens here. This is not a one-way parking garage, so he's not going to be boxed in. I'll see if we can get behind this building now. Might be right around, I think it might be a supermarket here.
There he is, yeah.
Speed's kind of picking up. Yeah, kind of picking up now in this parking lot.
He's
turning
going in a
around.
circle.
Yeah, we do have some people out here, so it looks like that grocery store is open. You see, whoa, this person running away from their shopping cart right there, it looked like. So
wow,
that was pretty wild.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of food trucks out there with people out there as well enjoying this nice weather. So, just when things were looking okay in that industrial area, now that we're in East Los Angeles where there are people out here right now, this is suddenly turning into a fairly dangerous situation, even if we are only at 45 miles an hour. We've seen this person not afraid to go through any red lights. Eastbound on Whittier Boulevard in East Los Angeles.
And you have to wonder why that person did that. Why drive through a parking lot only to turn around and come back the other. Wow, look at them. They're coming at him from every direction now. But why would, is that just a move to sort of taunt them in a way?
Yeah.
To just pull in and then pull out? There was no rhyme or reason to that,
Pat,
really.
And you know what? It happened so fast. We just saw another spike strip attempt there, Pat. They had it again set up. It wasn't clear if that one was successful either. It's now been 2 attempts now with spike strips to try to bring this to an end. Okay, he's at a stop. Let's see what happens now. The door's open. This is really tense because this person is reportedly armed and dangerous. We want to see some hands come out of that vehicle. We've got the sheriff's deputies now swarming towards the front with their guns drawn. Okay, there they are. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We've got
He's
2
getting
hands
out.
with the, and we'll see if he throws any object out the window or what. Something just fell out. Unclear what that is, but hopefully we are going to be coming to a safe conclusion. Maybe they did successfully strip his tires, and he realized it was only a matter of time. We do see the arms up, shirtless suspect here, and hopefully this is at an end.
Yeah, you know what? At some point, if the spike strip was successful or not, we knew that he was going to have to stop at some point because they were on him. He couldn't drive, or he didn't drive any faster. There he is with his hands up now, Desmond. Hands behind his head. And hopefully he'll make the walk back.
Gerhardt Avenue.
Okay, he's walking backwards. Interesting they would have him do that, and he's was this the DUI No, this was the guy armed with a weapon. I'm getting confused with the chase that you were on last hour.
I know we've had so many pursuits today.
Exactly.
Yeah, hard to keep track of them all.
And maybe that is why he went through that. Yeah. Remember, we were questioning why would he turn in the parking lot only to come back out, because he knew that he was cornered and this was going to have to come to some end. So he stops.
And
soon
getting down on his knees.
He's on his knees.
All of the deputies. And all right, now the deputies are going to go up to the vehicle and clear it, and we'll see if there were any other suspects in the vehicle, any passengers, I should say. So that's going to be the next thing. After they take him back, they're going to go and try to clear the car. Obviously, this is a vehicle that could fit a lot of people if they wanted, and it's, you know, sometimes we see cars full of people. It's not just 1 or 2 people in the vehicle. So let's wait and see if there's anyone or anything in this late model Chevy Suburban.
This is KCAL 9 News at 10 o'clock as we're taking a look at live breaking coverage here of breaking news of the latest pursuit in Los Angeles. This is 3 by my count. We had one the 4 o'clock hour, another one the 8 o'clock hour, and this one here, which is happening live. We understand one is in custody. Desmond Shaw is up above in Sky 9. This is of an armed suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. We understand that weapon was a gun. This pretty much started in downtown Los Angeles, ends up in East LA. And a pit maneuver was denied early on because that suspect had a weapon, and it appears that police now are going to go clear this larger SUV. Again, they do have the driver wanted for deadly weapon assault is in custody, and understand that we'll have Desmond Shaw wrap this up and have